But I'm going to start you off with a question. How long do you think you can continue to give from an empty vessel? How many of you have ever gotten to the point where you feel exhausted, where you feel worn out, where you feel like the world just keeps knocking on your door and keeps taking and taking, and you keep giving, and there's got to come a point where you say, I need to catch my breath. I want you to play along with me today because there's someone in this room that needs to hear this message. There's someone in this room that needs to know that somebody else understands. And there's someone else in this room that is feeling the struggle right now. So if anything I say moves you today, the answer I want to hear from you is yes, I have. Can you say yes, I have? Yes. Okay. So if you've ever been so tired, the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix, say yes, I have. And if you've ever had that hunger in you, the one that food doesn't quench, that hunger that says, I know I was made for more, but I just can't figure out how to do it, say, yes, I have. And if the world keeps knocking on your door and you keep answering, and you don't know how to say no because you're afraid they'll stop knocking, say, yes, I have. I know you have, because I have too. And I want to talk to you about how we serve through lasting purpose, because that is a lesson that I was taught so young in my career, was to give for the sake of giving, to love for the sake of loving, and to serve for the sake of serving. Now, when you think about giving and loving and serving, it's easy for those of you who are parents to think about what that means, because when that newborn baby is first in your arms, you would give anything to make them happy. You love them more than anything and anyone you've ever loved in your life, and you will serve them every minute of the day without fail because you know they are fully dependent on you. And that is a point in our lives when we get to experience that unconditional love, unconditional service, that unconditional willingness to give. But let that same kid get to be 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, start talking back. Some days it's hard to give, some days it's hard to love, and some days it's hard to serve. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. You know those patients that are easy to love? The ones that come in, they stay, they pay, they refer, they show up on time, they bring the kids. They're easy to love. They're easy to serve. And it is so easy to give to them. But you know the ones that make you want to run to the bathroom and lock the door and not come out? They're hard to love. It is hard to serve them. It is so hard to give of yourself when you know that they don't even appreciate what you're doing. They don't get what we're doing. They're never going to. You're just a Band-Aid. You got 3 visits. If you can't fix me by then, I'm gone. You know what I'm talking about, yes? Yes. But we do it anyway. We give and we love and we serve. And this is the part that I learned so deeply, with no expectation. I heard as a student the cautionary tales about the Mercedes 80s and all the docs who had huge practices, charging $2, $3, $5 a visit, but then all of a sudden insurance came in and they ramped their prices up to $300 a visit, $400 a visit, $500 a visit. And they were rolling in it until the writing was on the wall and the insurance was going away. And I know people who, when I was coming up in school, they were no longer in practice because they went out on disability. Not because they were hurt, but because they got hooked on that money and they knew they couldn't continue to make it, and that was their answer. And so I heard those cautionary tales. I watched the students who would say, hey man, can I borrow your patience to meet my quota? And I vowed not to be that person. I heard Dr. Sid tell us over and over and over again, get to 500 and tweak the numbers. Keep the faith, turn the crank, testify. And I bought in hook, line, and sinker. I said yes to every opportunity. I served on every board. I gave with no expectation. And you know what I found out recently? I forgot about this part. Anybody been there? Yes, I have. I forgot about this part. Out of your own abundance, you can't give from an empty well. You can't serve when you got nothing left. And you can't love, and I mean love. You can't love when your love tank is empty. And so when you give and you give and you give, sometimes you outgive yourself. And I love my good friend Sharon says you can't outgive the giver. And I believe you cannot outgive the giver, but you can outgive yourself. You can outlove, you can outserve, you can overdo it. You can say yes too many times. You can run yourself ragged to the point where sleep will never fix how tired you are. Yes? Yes, sir. You've been there. Yes, they have. They see it. Kids don't lie. They see it. Watch what you do at home because they will tell, right? I found out that I was out of balance. It's like my plane got grounded. And I'm not the only person. I'm just bold enough to say it today. Don't ask me to say it tomorrow because I'll lie. I'll be like, I'm good. Everything's fine. Yes, you need something. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I'll serve. But you know what? I got to be honest with you. Sometimes we get out of balance. Anybody else? Yes. Yes. We get out of balance sometimes, and what is it going to take to get us back in? Is it going to take a catastrophe? Is somebody going to get sick? Somebody going to have to get hurt? Is something major going to have to change for you to realize you are the priority? You need to put your oxygen mask on first before you try to put anybody else's on? Can we just realize that right now, I got to serve me before I can serve you? I got to give to me. Barbara, I didn't even realize you were there. I got to give to me. She gives, and she gives. I got to give to me before I can give to you. And I never had a problem with the loving me because, man, my parents taught me that you got to love you. You got to love you. And I've never faltered on that part. But, man, I messed up on the giving and the serving way too much. And when you get out of balance, all of a sudden your world doesn't run the way it's supposed to. And I want you to look at this because some people have never seen this. This is the Pygmalion effect. And it works for the good and it works for the bad. So we're going to start at the bottom because I got to tell you something. I have somebody in my life who I know, who I like, and who I trust, who years ago saw all the opportunities that I was getting. Saw the millions and millions of views that we were getting on YouTube, saw the thousands and thousands of people reading our blogs, saw all the families that we were helping through educated pregnancy, and picked my brain, asked questions. How are you doing it? How are you reaching people? How are you getting out to people? How are you making money? People are paying you. This is online courses before you guys even knew what an online course was. We're talking 2010. People didn't even hear that word back then. And he said, how are you doing it? And I told him. And I shared. And he said, how are you traveling so much and speaking? And I told him, and I shared. And his beliefs down there, you know what he said to me? Everybody loves you now, but you start selling to chiropractors, you start selling in this space, they'll all hate you. His beliefs about himself right there caused him to take an action that said something to me that I believed. If I try to help chiropractors, they're going to start hating me. So I just got to give, and I just got to serve, and I just got to love with no expectation and forget the whole abundance thing because I didn't want anybody to be mad at me, right? How many years did I let his words swim around in there until I was out of balance? And you know how quickly you fix this? Our beliefs about ourselves. What do you believe about yourself? Who are you? When you look in the mirror, do you say, damn, girl, you look good? Or are you like, oh, my big toe's not really looking so good today. Oh, my thigh's got this, or I got a bruise over here, or a dimple over here. I got mom's stomachs. Who cares? You heard the man this morning, right? Did Alvin move you? If you saw that, did his video move you to tears? Oh, my God, yes, I can. That video that some of you missed, he showed a video of what most of us would consider to be handicapped people. But what I've learned is just called different abilities, doing amazing things that most of us would never even envision ourselves doing. And yes, they can. And it's all in your beliefs. I am who I believe I am. The two most powerful words in the English language are I am. Be careful what you put after that. Because I am tired leads to tiredness. I am hungry. You'll never quench that. And if someone in your life puts you down, beat you down verbally, told you that you'll never amount to anything, you'll never be good enough, and you believed it, guess what? What you believe makes you now influence your own actions towards others, which then impacts what they believe about themselves and about you. So if you walk around saying, I'm no good, then people believe you're no good. And they treat you like you're no good. And it reinforces in your mind that you are no good. But if you change your mind right here and right now to say, I am made in the image and likeness of perfection. I have innate intelligence coursing through every cell, tissue, organ, and system in my body. The breath of life came into me and it stays here. This creation was made. Nobody else can figure this out, but you did. You figured it out from a little teeny tiny dot. You figured it out. You survived. You made it this far. You've made it through school. You've made it through some boards. You've made it through OSCEs. I know you're stressing about finals sometimes. Am I going to pass this girl's class? Right? I know how stressful it can be. But you get to decide, are they driving your beliefs or are you going to drive theirs? And that might be your patience. That might be your children. That might be your family. That might be your community. That might be your worldwide stage where you get to share your message. Are you going to drive their beliefs or are they going to drive yours? You get to decide. How strong are you in your conviction? Do you believe in yourself and your ability? Some of you, you're not quite sure yet. Some of you haven't been tested yet. Some of you haven't put it to the world yet to see how the world receives you. So right now, you don't know what you don't know. But I can tell you this. If you're sitting in this room, unlike the other 70,000 chiropractors that aren't here, maybe don't attend other events, maybe don't get dipped in our philosophy, maybe don't bring their families and their teams to get dipped in this philosophy, you're already a step ahead of the game. You're already ahead because you're already doing what it takes to have a successful life. You control this every day with everything you do. Those of you who are parents, never tell a child they're bad. They'll start to believe it. They'll start to act it. They'll start to do things that reinforce so you believe they're bad, and it will continue the cycle. If they do something you don't like, just tell them, I don't like that behavior. You're a good kid. I love you. But that behavior, nuh-uh. We ain't doing that, right? But never tell them what they are. Do I tell you you're bad, or do I say that activity was bad? Right. Never tell a child they're bad. They will believe it. Tell them you're good, you're strong, you're healthy, you're smart. I love you. I love you. And I love all of you because of what you do and what you believe and the impact that I know you're going to have or already have had and continue to have. I want you to understand this. Whether you see it or not, I see it in you. You have amazing potential within you. You just have to learn how to let it fly free. There is so much inside of you that the world needs. Think of all the gifts that have been bestowed on you. Now, some of you don't call them gifts. Some of you call them struggles. Some of you call them challenges. Some of you call them obstacles. Some of you call them problems. But they are gifts. They are learning lessons. They're opportunities for growth. When the world shuts the door in your face, it's only so that you can say, you know what, I want this bad enough, I'm going to knock it, I'm going to push that door open. But if you take that shut door as the end of the world, that's your choice, man. But that means you're giving up. And never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. Because you know what? Some people, that's all they got. They have that potential within them, and they believe in it, and they don't stop, and they keep going. So I want to ask you about this first woman up here, because some of you think Rosa Parks just decided one day that I'm not sitting in the back of the bus. That just one day she just had enough, right? You think it was just one day she just changed her mind? No. It was a lifetime. She was in there. She was rallying. She was meeting. She was saying, I'm not taking this anymore. We got to make a change. We have to do something. We have to stand up. And when her time came, she didn't chicken out. When your time comes, and I promise you, if it hasn't already, it's coming. And if it already came and you didn't learn from it, it's coming again. Because life gives you the lessons that you need to learn. And it will keep giving them to you until you learn them. And if your lessons haven't come yet, they're coming. What will you do in that moment? 41 and a half weeks pregnant with my son. Never had an OB, just had a midwife. Go see the midwife, hoping for a home birth. She won't assist at home. 41 and a half weeks, she says, you're going to have to go in and get induced. And I was like, I'm going to have to do what? And why? You're going to have to go in. No, I'm not. I leave her office, and you know what I get? I get a phone call from an OB, a guy no less. Like, guys, I love you and all that, but when it comes to this stuff, let me have a lady taking care of stuff because she can understand. And I get a guy on the phone, like now you already got past, like, you got me, okay? I get a guy on the phone who says to me, your uterus will rupture. Oh, because there's a timeline on it, right? And he says, you don't understand. You're about to kill your baby and probably die in the process. I'm 41 and a half weeks pregnant. How the F can you say that to a pregnant woman? How can you say that? And if I wasn't firm and solid in my foundation, let me tell you something. He shook me a little bit, but he made me plant my roots further, deeper, more solid, more convicted, more convinced that I needed to help people understand the capability of their own bodies. Because, man, if I wasn't rooted, it'd be a whole different story. It'd be a whole different story. Because their job is to scare you, to get you to do what they want you to do. What are you going to do in that moment? What are you going to do when you get tested? What are you going to do when the payroll is due? The baby is hungry, you don't have enough food in the fridge, and there's no money coming in. You going to stand firm, or are you going to waver? You going to do anything under the sun to make a buck? Or are you going to look to yourself and say, what can I do now to fix things? How can I fix me now? Do you know who Todd Beamer was? You recognize the name, but you can't think of who he was. Tuesday, September 11th, 2001, he was on United Flight 93. He was one of the people who got up, attacked the terrorists, and helped the plane go down in a field rather than another building. Do you think just in that moment he was a hero? Or do you think that was part of the fabric of his life? His wife came out and said, I knew he would do it, because that's the kind of man he is. See, who you be determines what you do. And what you do will dictate what you have in your life. And I'm not just talking about stuff and money. I'm talking about respect, admiration, the love of your children, a community who supports you. Who you be will determine what you do, and what you do will determine the life you will have. Muhammad Ali did not win in the ring. He won in the gym. You don't get to win in the ring if you don't put the time in the gym. See, we sometimes look at the Kardashians and the Instagram husbands and the perfect lives that are curated on social, and we go, oh, I want that. And don't we all? But you know what? Is it real? Did they really put the work in? Did they really put the time and the effort in? Do you? What do you do every day to make you better? How do you wake up in the morning with a mindset of how can I make this world a better place? What is it inside of you that drives you, pushes you, motivates you, inspires you, or empowers you to do more, to be more, so that, yes, you can have more in this world? Sometimes we get a little bit nervous. We're not quite sure. I don't know how to do things. I don't know what to say. If I got up on a stage and I open my mouth and I say the wrong thing, people will hate me. Do it anyway. Speak even when your voice shakes. Stand firm even when your knees are trembling. Because sometimes you might be the only one with the guts to do it. Sometimes showing up is the most important act that we can ever make. I love the saying, show up, because your presence alone changes the conversation. I sit in rooms where my philosophy, our philosophy, ain't welcome, but I show up anyway, and it's not fun, and it is not comfortable, and I show up anyway. I sit in rooms where I'm the only woman on a board and got passed over when the opportunity was open because I was a woman. And I showed up anyway. It's not gonna be easy. I will never lie to you and say, oh, it's so easy to have your own business. It's so easy to practice. It's work, but it is work worth doing. Yes? Where's all the chiropractors in the room that have been in practice more than 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? I just hit my 20-year mark last month. It is work worth doing, yes? Yes. And so for the students that are in this room, I hope that you have a long, successful, wonderful career full of stories and lives that you get to change. But you don't get to change any of them if you don't learn how to open your mouth. And Jennifer already covered this, so I'm not even going to go into detail about this. But this happened 2 weeks ago. We were up in Canada, and this came out, and what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to take it? What are you going to do when they come to your state? What are you going to do when they come to your house? My kids already know. Kick them and run, right? They ain't coming to my house. There's enough guns and ammo, and, I'm Italian, I'm from New York, We are not going down that path. But it will happen if we don't stand up. What are you going to do? How are you going to make the change? How are you going to take the struggles that you think right now are problems and turn them into solutions? Solutions for you, solutions for your family, solutions for your patients, solutions for your community, solutions for our profession, solutions for the world. How are you going to take your current struggle and make it worth something? Sometimes I talk to students who want to quit. I talk to young doctors who want to quit. They say it's too hard. I want to throw in the towel. I don't like it. I got to do work. I got to show up. I got to ask people. I got to talk to people. It's too much. Don't quit now. You already went through the hard work. Now get your reward. Change lives. Make an impact. Bring a baby's hearing back, like I had the privilege of doing not once, but twice. Give a 5-year-old who was only given 5 years to live an extra 13 years of life. Have those stories. Take your struggles, make them into solutions, change something inside of you so that you can change something outside of you. But it starts with you. You got to be willing to speak up. You got to be willing to say something. You got to be willing to put your voice out there. And I know sometimes it's scary, so I'm going to give you something that is a labor of love of 50,000 hours. Take out your phone right now. Take out your phone. There's nothing, I'm not selling you nothing, I'm just giving you something. This is a worksheet that is going to teach you how you can make your message matter. This is 50,000 hours on stages. I want to give it to you. 5 keys to market your practice. Text this number, 480-500-6574. Text the message, 5 keys. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. How do you make your message matter? How do you get to the people who need to hear what you have to say? How do you find those people? How do you speak in a way that they will connect with you, engage with you, resonate with you, stay with you, share you with other people? Because what we have to offer can and will change the world. Yes? Yes. And it's only going to happen if we empower the next generation of chiropractors. It's only going to happen if we teach the kids. It's only going to happen if we educate our communities. It's only going to happen when we get out of our own way. Don't live in our ego, but live in the outgo. What can I give out? How can I help? How can I serve? From your own abundance. Fill your own well. Fill your own well. And find the fuel to propel you. Something you will hear this weekend will serve you in the future. Some story you will hear will serve you in the future. Some tragedy that you will experience will serve you in the future. Some victory you get to claim will serve you in the future if and only if you allow it to come through you and emanate from you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a gift called chiropractic. And whether you're the person laying the hands or the one talking to the patients up front, when we share that gift, when we give people hope, when we allow our lives to be guided and directed from innate, when we teach our children to trust in the potential within them, when we are the example that shows our community how to have faith in the power within the body, we get to change lives. And I hope for all of you that you take everything this weekend and you allow it to come into you. You don't forget it Monday morning. You don't put it on a shelf and wait till the next time you go to a seminar. You let it go into your cells and become part of the fabric of who you are, so that just like Muhammad Ali, when you get in the ring, you win. I love and appreciate you.
When I think about all the lessons I've learned throughout all the years, the most important principle I've ever learned is this: